Hey guys, it's Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to do a book video. I normally do these videos at the end of the month, but I'm starting this video at the beginning of the month and we're going to go through, the month, and I'm going to tell you each book that I read kind of more in real time. So that way it's more fresh, and you can get a little bit better idea of what the book was about and how I was really feeling about it. This book right here, I've been reading for a minute, and I'm glad that it's finally done. I'm so glad because it just took forever. And, okay, let me tell you what it was about. So, it is about New York City and like all over the world, cities are being like born. And when cities are born, there's like a person kind of attached to the city that kind of like represents the city. So with New York, because of the 5 bureaus, there are 5 people that represent each bureau. Oh, there's 5 plus 1. So there's like a person that represents each each borough. And then there's a person that represents the entirety of New York City. And so the whole thing about it is like their city is under attack. And it'd be a bunch of cities under attack. But right now, New York City is under attack by, it's a fantasy. So it's under attack by, they're calling it like the woman in white. But there's like these like tendrils, and they're like white translucent tendrils. They're kind of like tentacles, in a sense. I don't know. If you can kind of see the shape there? That's the vibe that it's giving. And each person kind of has an encounter with this enemy. Like the enemy is attacking like each person, and they have to come together and kind of fight this enemy. They also have a mentor. It's like each city kind of has its birth, and the city that was just previously born and had went through the fight and everything, and if they survive, then they kind of come to the new city and serve as a mentor for the new city. I will say that it was just long, and it's a fantasy, so it's like not in my comfort zone. Like it's not something that I normally read. So that's one reason why it took me so long. It seems like there's a lot of words on the pages to me. This book is like 434 pages. It's a little bit long for me. So yeah, it was just a lot. I was enjoying it up to a certain point. Oh, and also the chapters are really long too. So it's like, goodness. This half of the book was interesting because each one of the boroughs were coming into, like, were being attacked by the enemy. So it was like really describing like, what that was like and what they had to go through to kind of fight back. And it also explains how they have to kind of find each other. So it explains that a little bit. So that was like most of this is them being attacked and them like trying to find each other. And then the rest of this was like them kind of talking. My bad, you guys. I had to pause for the calls. My husband walked in and, I had to greet my man. But back to the book. I lost the spot, but it was like a very little bit of the book at the end was starting to get like, they was just talking. They was like meeting, and they was talking about what was happening and explaining what was going on and strategizing about what they was going to do. And I don't know. It basically like, it all kind of came to an end within like a few pages at the end. And I don't know. I guess I just don't like that in books. Like, to where I'm waiting for this big battle to happen within this book. But the ending was a little bit lackluster to me. Even though I did enjoy kind of reading about the different little attacks and stuff, I did end up giving this book 2 stars because it just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And I couldn't even give it 3 because, just because of like, maybe you'll like this book or maybe somebody else will like it, but I just couldn't. I'm really giving it 2 stars to remind myself that, you know what? Maybe fantasy is not my vibe. Maybe I'm just not a fantasy girl. The other books that I've read that have been fantasy that I liked have been young adult and middle grade. So maybe I just need something like a little bit more, a little easier on the reading level. Maybe that's what I need. When I think of fantasy, I think of like dragons and, fairies and, stuff like that. But I just couldn't get into this. So yeah, I'm going to, remember that and make sure that I don't just be picking up random books, even if it is by a Black author, and definitely not going to be picking up fantasy. But yeah, I've seen this book on a lot of people's shelves, so I'm sure it's good to some people, but for me, no. And actually, I found out that this book is a part of a series. Won't be picking up the rest of the books, but hey, that's okay. They can't all be winners. So yeah, that's that. So for my next book, I want to try something different. Okay, so I got a jar. I want to do a TBR jar. Okay, so this is my jar. This is Percy. Yeah, I think his name is Percy. My husband named him. And I think this guy I don't know what this guy is, like what animal this guy is. We are going with a porcupine. Okay, that's what we're going with, porcupine. Percy the porcupine, okay? So, yeah, and he got his little reading glasses on. So, yeah. Normally how people do their TBR jars is they write down prompts and they put it in there, and then, they pick a book according to the prompt. I didn't do mine like that. I pretty much just wrote out all the books that are on my bookshelf, like physical books that I have not read. And I think it ended up being like 23 books. So yeah, I just wrote them each down on a little piece of paper, and I'm just gonna draw them out. So just shake this up, shake it up, shake it up. Oh, if you want to see, here's what we're working with. Shake it up just a little bit. And let's see what our next book is going to be. I'm nervous. All right. Our next book is The Davenports. You probably can't see it. It's too bright. And my writing is probably not the best. The Davenports. Let me grab the book. Here it is, The Davenports. As you can see, I got this on bargain. This is perfect because I literally just watched Queen Charlotte. We're all watching Bridgerton season 3 with Penelope and Colin. So I think that this kind of gives like similar vibes, but with Black people. So yes, and I literally saw somebody today like say that this was one of their favorites, like historical fiction type book. So I'm excited. Like, they said that it was messy, but that the romance was good, and they just seem to like really, really like it. So I am so excited about this. I'm going to see if I can get the sticker off, and then we'll start reading. I'll catch you in the next clip. Hey guys, I wanted to come and give you an update on the Davenports. I was so excited to read this when I first, pulled it out of the jar. But you guys, it's a little boring. It's a little bit boring. Like, it's supposed to be like messy and, scandalous or whatever, but the way it's set up, you just know like it's gonna work out. Like from the very beginning, okay, this might be spoiler. It might be a spoiler. Without saying too much, it's like, for example, so there's this girl and she's dating this guy, but her sister is starting to have feelings for the guy and he's starting to have feelings for her. But it's not really that big of a deal because the main girl, she's already starting to like this other person anyways. So it's things like that. There's other instances of that in the book. So I guess I could tell you what it's about. We're following 4 girls. 2 of them are sisters, and they are the Davenport sisters. They also have a brother. And they live, it kind of gives Bridgerton vibes, but not really. Like, they still do the whole like high society, like, finding a suitor, finding a husband, and the whole rich family thing. However, it seems like it's on the cusp of a like revolution because the Davenports, they own this carriage company. However, we're like on the cusp of getting into automobiles. So like the brother is actually the brother and one of the sisters is like in the process of like trying to get their father to, accept this and to turn the company into like an automobile company, or they're calling like horseless carriage or something. So, how they do with sons, they pass the business off to the sons, right? So they're trying to like get their dad on board with, the new times or whatever. So yeah. Oh, it's also like, it's based in Chicago and it's like the early 1900s. So I'm not sure if I don't really know. I didn't realize that, they were still do this type of thing where it's like you enter into society at a certain age and that's when you become eligible to be married off or whatever. So in a way, like it seems modern, but then it seems dated. So that's why I'm like, oh, it just feels like this is like the last of that whole thing, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's that. So like I said, we have the 2 sisters, we have the brother, we have another girl, Ruby. She is the older sister's best friend, and she has her eye on the brother. Like she's like trying to get a proposal out of the brother. And then we have Amy Rose, who is one of the maids, but she grew up with the girls. They're kind of like sisters, but she's a maid. Once the girls grow up and marry and move on, she wants to move on to starting her own business, her own like salon, hair salon and stuff. So that's what's going on. But like I said, it's a little bit boring. I mean, I don't know if I'm just in like a funky mood when it comes to reading. Nothing has been really hitting for me lately. It's easy to get through. I will say I'm more than halfway through. So, the chapters are short. So, I like that, but not really feeling like I'm not feeling the romances, and like I said, they kind of set it up from the very beginning. You can kind of tell like this person's going to end up with this person's going to end up with that person, even if that's not who they started out with originally. Like, they kind of set it up to where, like, everything's going to be all right. Like, there's no scandal, there's no suspense. It's just kind of boring. I will also say that the older sister, she's starting to get into, they're kind of moving into like civil rights era. There's like, people are like newly free. Her father, the patriarch, he was a former slave. So, we're right after like slavery. And we're moving into kind of like civil rights era, and like Jim Crow is starting to creep up. So there's some of that in the book. She's kind of being taught that you as a woman, you gotta kind of be in the shadows and tend to your household and things like that. But she is starting to get interest into being an activist and getting involved with the community a little bit more and things like that. So that part's all right. But yeah, as far as like the romance goes, it's snooze fest. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But I will keep reading and let you know. It's looking to be probably 3 stars. Probably 3. Yeah. Considering that I gave the last book 2 stars, it's not that, but it's looking to be 3, maybe even a 2.5, 2.75, 3. I'm thinking 3. We're going to go with 3, but I'll let you know for sure once I finish the book. So yeah, I'll catch you in the next clip. I'm back. And I wanted to show you this little Dollar Tree haul. So, it's been one of those types of weekends where I'm just so bored. And I'm in the house, every single day. So I'm just like, I really just want to get out the house. It's hard to like get out the house and not spend money, which I go on walks and things like that. I do those things. But I'm like, let's just roll up to the Dollar Tree. So at least, if I'm spending money, I'm not spending that much. So yeah, and guess what? They have books. So, and I actually found one. Can you believe that? I was so not sure that I was going to find books by Black authors. Like I wasn't sure. But lo and behold, I found one. This is called Cherish Farah. And let me read the synopsis for you. 17-year-old Farah Turner is one of 2 Black girls in her country club community and the only one with Black parents. Her best friend Cherish, adopted by a white wealthy family, is something Farah likes to call WGS, white girls spoiled. With Brianna and Jerry as parents, Cherish is given the kind of adoration and coddling that even upper Black parents can't seem to afford. And it creates a dissonance in her best friend that Farah can exploit. When her own family is unexpectedly confronted with foreclosure, the calculating Farah is determined to reassert the control she's convinced she's always had over her life by staying with Cherish, the only person she loves, even when she hates her. So she's got like a love-hate thing going on with her friend here. A little jealousy, it seems. As troubled Farah manipulates her way further into the Whitman family, the longer she stays, the more her own parents suggest that something is wrong in the Whitman house. She might trust them if they didn't think something was wrong with Farah too. When strange things start happening in the Whitman house, debilitating illness, upsetting fever dreams, and unexpected tension with Cherish's hot-headed boyfriend, and a mysterious journal that seems to keep track of what is happening to Farah, it's nothing she can't handle. But soon everything begins to unravel when the Whitmans invite Farrah closer, and it's anyone's guess who is really in control. Told in Farrah's chilling, unforgettable voice and weaving in searing commentary on race and class, this slow burn social horror will keep you on the edge of your seat until the last page. Okay, tell me that don't sound good. Tell me that don't sound good. Tell me that don't sound good. And you know, I had to look in the back, make sure this author was black. The author is Bethany C. Morrow. So, yeah, she was included in USA Today's list of 100 black novelists and fiction writers you should read. I never heard of her before, but this sounds good. I was getting ready to tell y'all, like, I'm gonna wait to put this book into the jar, but after reading that, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in just in case. Like, I was thinking, like, yo, it's not fair to my other books that I bring this new book in, but that sounds good. That sounds like something I might want to read next for real. Like, not even put her in there, just go ahead and start reading her, because y'all know how I've been feeling about the books lately. So, you know, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But other things that I got are, so again, I'm at home all day, every day. I don't really have a whole lot to do on a daily basis, and I be bored. So your girl got some coloring books, okay? Care Bears, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and some princesses. Like, yeah, you know, this just brings me back to like my childhood. And this is how you know it's bad. I almost picked up a crossword puzzle book, and it just brings me back to like being like a little kid and staying with my grandmother, and she always had crossword puzzles. So yeah, but that's just where I'm at. And I figure, you know, I can like do, you know, on a night where where I'm like really bored, or on a night where I just kind of want to take a break, or maybe like listen to an ebook or something, then I can break out the coloring books. I did get some crayons. I do have markers and colored pencils and things like that, but I don't have crayons. So I just got your standard 24 pack, and that's going to be a fun night. So with that, you got to have your snacks. So of course I picked up some chocolate. I really wanted to get like candy, but then I was like, I really don't need that. I really don't need that, you know, with this baby brewing in my belly. Like, I don't need it at all in general, but yeah, I really don't need it right now. So, chocolate for the win. I also got, since I can't drink, I got me some Martinelli's sparkling cider. You know, I'm going to put it in a little wine glass, and I'm going to have me a good old time. You feel me? So that's mostly what I got. I got a Arizona tea. You know, I'm an Arizona girl, so just picked up one of those. Also got some air freshener. You know, just a little spritz that I can spray from time to time when I'm cleaning and stuff. But yeah, I really just wanted to show you this book, and I'm kind of excited about it. I hope it's good. Like, I really hope that I like it. But yeah, I'm going to catch you in the next clip. Peace. Hey, you guys. Okay, so finally finished the Davenports, and y'all know how I was feeling in the beginning. It felt kind of boring. People say that this gives Bridgerton, or they like to say like, oh, they're, you know, Bridgerton vibes. No, don't let people lie to you. Like, this is not really giving Bridgerton. Maybe like 10 percent of it, you know, with the whole kind of wealthy thing and the whole like courting and all of that stuff. But I didn't really feel the Bridgerton vibes like reading this. So there's that. And then it was just boring. So you know that there are 4 girls and they are all in love with people that they're not supposed to be in love with. Like they're falling for people they're not supposed to fall for. And so, but the way it's set up, it's like it's just set up, like the setup is boring. Like I think maybe the author thought that because, you know, they are falling for these people that they're not supposed to be falling for, that maybe that would create some scandal and some mess and stuff like that. But it didn't really do that for me. It just was boring. And I just kept waiting for kind of everything to, like, I thought it was going to be predictable. I kept waiting for everything to just fall in place where they could be with the person that they wanted to really be with, and then we all live happily ever after. Fortunately, towards the end, the stakes got a little bit higher, and the people that we thought we were going to end up with, we all didn't end up with those people. So it made it a little bit more interesting, and it kind of left, not on a cliffhanger, but it kind of left off at where it was like a to be continued. So, you know how usually in a series they kind of like will cover like one character at a time. This one, it seems like we're covering all those characters, and the story is going to continue between the different books. So will I pick up the second book? Maybe if I see it at the library or something, but I'm not going to invest money into this series. It doesn't like, it's not like, you know, gripping me like that. I mean, maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll love the second book and, you know, maybe I want to like buy it, but I'm probably going to pick it up at the library, to be honest with you. And I may end up unhauling this at the end of the year. Because like I said, so overall I gave it 3 stars, because the beginning was just like kind of boring to me. And then we kind of picked up a little bit at the end. It got a little bit interesting, leaving some potential for the next book. So we're going to see. We gave this 3 stars, and yeah, but anytime we can finish a book, you know, check it off the reading challenge, you know, that's always a plus. The next book I decided to go ahead and start reading is Cherish Farah. I didn't use the jar this time. Say hi to Perry. I didn't use him this time, but I'll use him next time. But like I said, when I read what this was about, I was intrigued, and I needed something different. I needed something that was going to keep my attention, that I was going to enjoy, and that was going to be interesting. And this is it so far. So let me tell you, they say like this is a slow burn social horror. It's giving like thriller vibes for me. Like what's going to happen next? I don't know. So we have Farah, and she is going through a lot of stuff with her parents. So her parents, like, they lost their house. Well, first of all, her mom lost her job. And so that led to eventually them losing their house. And apparently, you know, like they used to live in a pretty nice neighborhood, you know, a pretty nice house. The house had a pool. So, you know, if that tells you anything. So if Farah is like really in her feelings about it, she's really, really feeling the way about it. She's got something going on with her mom, to where they kind of don't get along. They kind of like, they be sparring, you know, her words. So during this whole transition, when they lose their house and they kind of move into like a rental home that's a lot more downgraded, During that whole transition, Farrah goes to stay with her best friend, Cherish. Now, Cherish is a black girl who was adopted by white parents. And they really spoil her. I mentioned in the synopsis here, she calls it white girl spoiled, or WGS. So they really spoil her and kind of coddle her. And Farrah kind of does the same. But she kind of, it's obvious that Farrah is a little bit more, knows what's going on, and Cherish is just kind of, she's kind of like a baby doll, it seems like, where she just kind of goes along with everything, and she kind of looks to Farrah, for certain things. So Farrah kind of like manipulates her in some ways. Yeah, so she's staying at her best friend Cherish's house. Her parents are really, her white parents are really welcoming. They treat her like, she's one of their own, all of this stuff. So on this particular day, it's Cherish's birthday. They've been celebrating all weekend. And at this point, they kind of go off, with these boys that they are interested in, and they come back. And I guess Farrah's been waiting all weekend for her mom to show up and like tell her something, that's been going on. So she hears her mom and Cherish's mom talking. Well, first of all, Farrah's mom is like, I guess, trying to make Farrah look like she's a bad person, like she's a bad girl or something. And Cherish's mom is kind of not really buying it. She's just kind of like, kind of like kids will be kids, type of thing. And Farrah really takes offense to this and like, yo, my mom is trying to throw dirt on my name. But we also find out while they're eavesdropping on their conversation that Farrah's dad got a job offer in another state. So that causes a whole thing. Farrah and Cherish, they kind of run away, a little bit to kind of escape or whatever. They end up coming back. Eventually, Farrah goes to talk to her parents at the house that they're renting, that she hasn't stayed in. She's walked through the house and she's like, like, look at this house. As an adult, like, obviously, like, I know that, things happen, and, you could easily lose your job, and you could easily have to downgrade. You could easily, have to look for opportunities elsewhere. But for her, she's not really having it. She's not really feeling it. And she's like, you know what? Like, she's feeling like really betrayed. Like y'all lied to me. Like, you said we were going to get the house back and and now you're trying to move out of the state, and you like all of this stuff. Like, she's really in her feelings about it. She's like, you know what? I'm going to stay with Cherish. Forget what y'all talked about. The parents, like, they're not like, the mom is like a, you're gonna do what we said. You're not staying there. You coming with us. But the dad he seems a little bit more like soft, and he's trying to like, give her time, give her space, kind of coddle her a little bit, and like, tell her like it's gonna be okay, and like give her the chance to kind of like realize like you need to come with your parents. But I don't know if she's having it. So, I mean, I am maybe halfway through. I don't know if that explanation like really is like gripping you. There are more things that have happened. I don't want to like spoil it too much. Maybe by the time I get to the end, I'll have, something better for you and can really like get you to maybe give this book a chance. But for a Dollar Tree book, I am very satisfied. Okay, I'm enjoying it. The writing is pretty interesting. I'm enjoying the way this is written. It's very like introspective. Like Farrah is, you know, our narrator, and she is, you know, just the way she explains things, you know, it's interesting. So I'm enjoying it. I will read more, probably finish this, and then I'll come back and we could talk more about it. I be trying not to do spoilers, but I might just have to do spoilers. Like I know that's what most people do, you know, when they talk about books on YouTube and stuff like that, but I like to like get into it, you know, like I want to like really talk about it. So, yeah. We'll see. I'll catch you guys in the next clip. This thing bright as hell. Y'all, tell me why my power is out. So, I did finish the Cherish Farrah book. I'm going to have to give you guys my thoughts on that later. But just know. So, I got Perry here. I'm getting ready to go to a friend's house so I can get some juice because my phone about to die. But I got Perry and I'm about to pick a book to take over there. What's Done in Darkness? You can't see it. You guys, I was literally sitting here thinking like, I know that book is going to be pretty, I don't know if it's going to be good, but I know it's going to be fast paced. I know it's going to be easy to read, like just something that I need. And I was literally going to pick it, but I'm like, okay, let me give Perry a chance and see what he got for me. And Perry, I think he coming through. So yeah, let me grab the book real quick. It's literally right here, already ready for me. What's Done in Darkness by Caleb Perrin. Yes. Okay. I will check in with y'all in a minute. Hey guys, I'm back. You know, the power came back on finally, and you know, everything's all good. I did start reading What's Done in Darkness, and the coincidence of me, you know, picking this book when my power is out and I'm literally reading in the dark. I went to a friend's house for a little bit, but then we came home and girl, I'm literally like with the flashlight reading because what else is there to do? So, yeah, I'm a little bit into the book. It's, you know, it's all right. I haven't really gotten into it. Apparently this is the sequel to, We'll Never Tell, I think. But it's not giving sequel. Like, it's not giving, like, I don't know if there are any of the same characters from that one in this one. Now, I don't know. Maybe as I read, the only similarities I'm seeing is that there's a woman in here who was in the same sorority. I'm assuming it's the same sorority that the other girls were in the other book, if you're familiar with that book. But that's literally, like, they're not even, like, this book doesn't even take place in the same town. Like, the girl travels to a different town. So, I don't know how this is giving sequel, but yeah. It's, you know, again, it's like really kind of easy to read, and that's what I needed after this last book I read, Cherish Farrah. I was enjoying it at first, but no. Not for me. I'll say that, like, not for me. Like, I don't know if this book was just not in my reading level. I just like after a while I just didn't get it. I was lost. Like there was like in the beginning, like as I guess it's setting up things, I'm kind of like, I'm vibing along to it. But after a while, I'm just like random things seem to happen. And I'm just not understanding, what's the point. And also the writing, the main character, she's very like introspective, and she uses like big words, and like the way she describes things. And it's kind of like, do we have like an unreliable narrator here? um, I had to look up other people's reviews and an interview with the author and stuff to kind of understand more. But apparently this is supposed to be an adult horror, even though the main character is 17 years old. So she talks more like she's an adult. And it's kind of like, you're just trying to figure out, like, is this girl crazy, or are these things like really happening? Like, what is going on? I didn't get it. At the end, I had to, there's like a concept. Like once you get to the end, you kind of realize like she's being treated a certain way because of a certain reason. And I had to like Google it and like to really understand like what it meant. And yeah, I just couldn't get it. Same thing with what was it called? The City We Became. I gave this 2 stars because I didn't get it. It wasn't for me. Surprisingly, I was looking like in the beginning of this book, and it says like other books that this person has written. And I actually have another one of her books, A Chorus Rises. So yeah, we'll see. I know that book is definitely a lot different than this, and that it is more young adult, and it seems like more up my alley. So, I'll be giving Bethany another chance to see, like, if I like her books or not. So yeah, maybe Perry will bring up her other book next. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna read a little bit more of What's Done in Darkness, and I will come back with some thoughts. Hey y'all, so I've been reading What's Done in Darkness, and I'm definitely happy with it. I'm getting through it pretty quickly. I'm about halfway through, and it's easy to read. It's interesting. The chapters are short, so I'm enjoying it. Let me tell you what it's about. So there's a girl, and she's having issues with her boyfriend. Like her boyfriend is like messing with her best friend, and so she causes this big scene at graduation. And she's really angry, so she ends up kind of like driving away and like getting into an accident and almost like unaliving herself. So her sister is like, you need to get it together. Maybe a change of scenery will help you. So her sister's sorority sister has a cafe, and she's like, you can come down there and work at the cafe and stay with the sorority sister, and spend your summer there. So she decides to go, but the sorority sister, she's a little crazy. She's like obviously manipulative, and there's times where she's like rude, and then there's times where she like, it's obvious that she's trying to like get over on her for some reason. And she also has this boyfriend that's from England, and he's like, I think maybe 10 years older than her. and they are always like fighting, and then like aggressively like fighting. And then next thing you know, they're like lovey-dovey with each other. So they're like, that dynamic is weird. So yeah, and we have the main girl who's just, she's just taking it. Like she's getting all of this stuff. It's crazy because if I was the girl, I'd have been dipped. But she's trying to like turn over a new leaf. She's trying to start fresh. Her whole ex-boyfriend thing, whatever, is really not working out, even though she's trying to hold on to it, but it's really not working out. So she's trying to start fresh and just have fun this summer. So yeah, that's where we're at. And another like kind of storyline is that there's this other girl who her brother was murdered, or she thinks her brother was murdered. Her brother had gotten into a car accident, and she thinks that her brother was murdered by the sorority sister. So she's like investigating the sorority sister. So yeah, there's that like little bit going on. She's got kind of like some spies here and there. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm so glad that I picked this book. I knew that it would kind of get me out of the slump that I've been in. Not like a reading slump, but just like the books that I've been reading lately, I just have not been excited about. So I think it's telling me a lot about my tastes and what I like. Yeah, I think I probably do lean more towards the urban fiction type stuff, like the drama, I don't know. I do still like young adult too, but I like I've said before, I like the feels. Like I want to feel something. And now that I'm like reading more consistently, and just like the more you read, it's like certain things you see over and over again. And I don't know, it's just like those things that may have really gotten to you before, they're not like, I don't know. But yeah, this is good, easy, quick. I've been breezing through it, so I like that. But yeah, I'm gonna finish it and then I will come back with my final thoughts. Hey y'all, I'm back and I finished What's Done in Darkness, and I think I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I mean, I ate it up, and I think that this was better than the first book. At first I wasn't sure what the connections were, but I realized that there are some connections. I don't remember people's names and stuff from the first book, but stuff did start to, come back to me as the book was going on. But I thought it was so good. I thought, like, I didn't think it was too predictable. It was better than the first book to me in terms of like the storytelling and the pacing. Like I was able to finish this in 3 days. So I think in terms of like genres, I'm thinking that thriller. I said that this was urban, and I guess it could be considered urban, but this is more of like thriller. And I think like I might be a thriller person. I don't have too much thriller on my bookshelf right now, but that's definitely something that I want to get into in the future, is more thriller, because I like it. I ate it up. I thought it was really good. We'll see how my taste evolves as I get more into thriller, but I enjoyed it. I mean, everything kind of came together, The main girl in this, she was annoying. She was naive. Like, a lot of this stuff, I could see like why people may not, rate this book high, because the main girl, she was just so, it's like, okay, you know it's some shady stuff going on, and you yourself are questioning, like, this is kind of weird, or like, dang, she acting kind of rude, or you're noticing stuff yourself, you're questioning stuff yourself. But as soon as somebody else wants to come to you and be like, hey, I think this is going on, you're like, no, 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 that can't be, that can't be. I've known this person, and I know she wouldn't do that. And girl, you know yourself that you do not know that girl that well. You have not known her that long. So that part I could see other people being like, no. But again, I enjoyed it. I had to give it 5 stars because of the books that I've read recently. This has been the best one. Like, I was able to get through it quickly. And yes, I'm very, very happy that I read this. I'm happy that Perry picked this book for me because I really, really needed it. So yeah, if you can, I would say get your hands on Kayla Perrin's. The first one was We'll Never Tell, and then this one, What's Done in Darkness. If you're looking for something quick and easy to get through, this is it. It's good. It's entertaining. I think you'll love it. Now let's see. We still have a week left in June. So I'm going to pull from Perry, and then hopefully we'll be able to read one more book in this video. Let me know how you guys are liking these videos. This is my first video like this. I haven't put any like vlog content. I'm not really calling this a vlog, but if you want to see some vlog stuff, I can maybe put some stuff in here or there, especially since this is like a monthly thing. I could probably put some stuff, but if you don't care, then I don't care either. So let's see what Perry has for us next. Give us something good, Perry. Give us something good. Give us something good. I'd be scared. Okay. Let me see what we got. Brown Girl Ghosted, which is this book right here. I got this from Ollie's, as you can see, for $3.99, and it is by Minty Daz. And so this is not a Black author, but this is, a Latina author. Oh, excuse me. This is an Indian author. She was born in India and raised in Illinois. Interesting. So, yeah, I'm tripping. But let me see what this book is about. 16-year-old Violet something world is built on lies. There's the lie that it doesn't matter if she's one of the only brown girls in her small Midwestern town as long as she tries to fit in. And fitting in means being a cheerleader, bottom of the pyramid, and always being the sidekick, never the heroine. Then there are the lies Violet tells herself, that she doesn't see dead people anymore, that the Violet's ancient legacy of supernatural Indian warrior queens have let her go. After all, it's hard to convince everyone you're normal with a bunch of shady dead relatives hanging around. But Violet's carefully constructed world shatters when a classmate is murdered and the something show up with a life or death ultimatum for her. Violet's mission? Use her secret powers to find the killer, or else she's next. Okay, so young adult. We've got some ghosts in here, and some ancestors. And we have maybe a little thriller aspect of, somebody is, there's a killer out there. So, and she has to use her powers to find the killer. Interesting. So this is with most young adult, I feel like it is like coming of age. So this is definitely giving coming of age, and also, some thriller, mystery, spooky, ghost vibes. So interesting. We will get into it. We will see what it's hitting for. Let me see how many pages it is. 284. Okay. I like this little, some of the pages have like little illustration like that on the corners and on the title page. We got a little pizzazz, so that's nice. Yeah, I've never read anything by this author, but this is one of those random finds. So let's get into it and see how it is. I'll come back with some thoughts. Hey y'all, so update on Brown Girl Ghosted. It's pretty good. So we have Violet, who she's on the cheerleading squad, and there's this, this mean girl who's like in charge of the cheerleading squad. Her name is Naomi. She terrorizes everybody, but she pretty much leaves Violet alone. Violet is kind of like, she kind of stays out of the way, but she's not too, with the mean girls, they always have like their like minions, the girls under them that kind of do whatever they say. So she's not one of them, but she's also, she just flies under the radar, even though she is Indian and, she lives in this very small white town, like so small to where like they have cornfields and stuff everywhere. But she pretty much, stays under the radar. So we have that going on. And then at home, she's dealing with what's it called? The Aedio. I'm going to put the word somewhere. The A. I'm going to just call it the A. She's dealing with them. Those are basically her ancestors, her ancestors who are, these warriors, right? And she's kind of beefing with them because they be putting her through like life-threatening tests. They're like tests. I guess they're to like kind of prepare her for whatever. And she's not really feeling them. She's like, yo, this is too dangerous. But also her mom, is passed away, right? So her mom is, I guess, a part of this, a part of the A. And normally different people in the A will come and visit her and I guess give her tips and stuff. But she's like, I want to see my mom. And they're like, oh, she's too busy doing, really important stuff, like she can't come visit you or whatever. So she's pretty much done with them. Like she don't want nothing to do with them. At one point she done started using, so I guess you get powers and stuff. So at one point she done started using her powers on the A, like on the people from the A. So after a while they kind of stopped visiting her. They stopped giving her tests and stuff. And it appeared that she kind of lost her powers. And it appeared that, she was kind of done with them. She was out of it. They was leaving her alone. Everything was good. But they done started bothering her again. So we have that. And then we also have this guy that they're calling Bat Eyes that's like stalking her, looking through her window. Not a real person, I would assume. I'm assuming that it is, some type of mystical force or being or whatever. So yeah, I'm not too sure if the person is bad or good, but she is perceiving this person to be bad. So yeah, so we got that. Now at school, things that's going on in school, she does have a little love interest. Things are a little bit rocky with them, but everything seems to be okay. So the popular girl at school, Naomi, some it's a lot of scandalous stuff that has come out about Naomi to the point where everybody is, basically slut shaming her, calling her this and that, all of these names. Everybody is like disassociating themselves from her. Yeah, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to spoil it. But so yeah, that happened. And our main girl, Violet, she's staying out of that. She's not trying to really get too involved. But one night, the girl Naomi visits her, and she looks very ghostly. Then they have this whole episode. Come to find out, next day at school, the girl is dead. So that's where I'm at. A little bit like 106 pages in, so not too, like a little less than halfway. So that's just, to give you like the base of it. But it's good. I mean, I think it's pretty good so far. I wish this would be like a great Halloween book. So yeah, if you're looking for recommendations on what to read in the fall, this would be a really, really good one. But yeah, so I still got a long way to go to finish it. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this by the end of the month. It'll take a lot of reading for me to do that, but we'll see. If not, I will come back to you and we'll wrap this video up, and I will let you guys know how it goes in next month's video. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So yeah, I'm going to keep reading, and I will talk to you guys later. Hey guys, so it is the end of the month, and I actually did finish reading Brown Girl Ghosted. I literally took the rest of the day and finished the book, and let me just tell you, I enjoyed it. I really, really liked it. So let me see. The person who was supposed to be like, I think they call it, what do they call it? Bad Eyes? Something. He ended up being okay. He ended up helping her out. But our girl who has passed away, she turns into a ghost, right? And we find out that she was murdered, and the main girl, Violet, she has to find her killer. And that's how the rest of the book goes. And she is also turned into a ghost, so that way it can help her. The A figured that turning her into like a ghost would help her. And they're not called ghosts. Mind you, they're called bahoots. I'm not sure if that's pronounced right, but they both were turned into bahoots. And Naomi is a bahoot because her soul is not at peace. And the reason her soul is not at peace is because somebody killed her. So that's Violet's job, is to find out who killed her. And I really liked it. So I always look up other people's reviews and kind of see what other people are saying. And I'm surprised that not more people that I know have read this book, and not more people have, rated it higher. People kind of rated this book low just because they're saying it doesn't make sense. Like some of the rules in terms of being, a ghost and what you're allowed to do. They're saying that it doesn't make sense. But for me, this was easy to read. It wasn't too complicated. I got, what they were saying. I didn't think that the rules didn't make sense. So I really, really liked it. It talks a lot about, misogyny. It talks a lot about double standards, how, men can sleep around and do all these things, but if a girl does it, she's labeled a slut, a hoe, all those things. This book does have a trigger warning for sexual violence, so take that as you will. Did the girl get justice? Actually, now that I think about it, not sure. Not sure. But yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but interesting. It's interesting how the adults in this book talk about what happened, what was going on, and just small town mentality, and how it was just like a scene, a particular scene where all the adults are like talking about what happened, and you're just shaking your head the whole time. But either way, I gave this 5 stars because I really, really liked it. It definitely gives ghost and spooky vibes for like fall. But yeah, I would recommend this book. I really, really liked it. And I think you should check it out. So that concludes the reads that I had. I did a lot of good reading. So I finished all of these books, and then I finished another book on audio. So this one kind of counts, but kind of doesn't. The City We Became. Y'all know how I felt about this one. It's just not me. It's not up my alley. I'm not a fantasy person. I did enjoy kind of reading about the different boroughs, and just seeing how those boroughs were like represented, kind of, the stereotypes of each one. I enjoyed that, but this book is too thick for me. It was too long. It was too drawn out, and the ending didn't really do it for me. So I gave this book 2 stars. And then I read The Davenports, and I gave this book 3 stars. I, enjoyed it. It wasn't like my favorite. It didn't give me like the feels, it didn't, we're kind of, it was okay. A lot of the girls in this book, they kind of go through the same things at the same times, and it's just kind of a little bit repetitive. The second half is better than the first half. At first you're thinking like, I'm thinking like, where's the conflict? Where's the drama? Like, I get it, but also the way it's kind of set up, it's like, I can see everything working out. Everything doesn't work out. So I may pick up the second book. I may not. It really depends. But yeah, 3 stars. It was all right. And then I really needed a change of pace, so I read Cherish Farah, and unfortunately I gave this 2 stars because it lost me. It really lost me. I enjoyed the beginning of it, kind of getting to know the characters and getting to know, trying to get a sense of what was going on. But as the book went on, I was lost. I didn't know what was going on. I just felt like it wasn't for me. And I just wasn't able to get it. Like, other people may be able to pick this up, and if you're maybe more well read, and you kind of, I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. The ending, didn't do anything for me. Like, it's just another book where it wasn't for me. 2 stars. Then I read What's Done in the Dark. I loved this. I was able to speed through it. It was quick. It was easy. I got it. I could see why some people might not, give this a high rating or whatever, but it worked for me. It did what it needed to do. It was, it brought the mystery into it. The whole time I'm looking at the main character, and I'm like, girl, what is you doing? Is you crazy? But it worked. That worked for me. I enjoyed reading it. I mean, the ending was fine. The ending, it didn't disappoint me or whatever. But you could probably, if this may be too predictable for you, but again, I'm new to reading. My taste might not be, as developed as like other people. So I enjoyed this one, quick and easy. Like I said, you could probably read this in a day or 2. And I gave this 5 stars. Then I read All About Love on audio, And I'm going to talk about that book on my other channel because it's a nonfiction. So more like self-help and development. That's like what my other channel is about. So if you're interested in that, then I'll leave the link whenever that video is up. It might not be up yet, but when it is up, I will leave the link for you if you're interested in hearing my thoughts and kind of my takeaways from that book. So anyways, and then the last book, like I said, was Brown Girl Ghosted, and I gave it 5 stars. So that concludes July. I'm so happy with how I did. Like, if you take away this one, just because most of it was finished, 4 books, and really 5 if you include the audiobook that I read, the nonfiction one, like, that's good. That's good for me. And in terms of where I'm at in the year, my goal was to read 40 books, and I've read 22. So we are ahead 2 books. That's great. Looking forward to what more we read in the rest of the year. The rest of the year is crazy. I'm having a baby, so it's my first child, so I don't know how that's gonna go. But yeah, we'll see how the reading goes for the rest of the year. But I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.